Hey, welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Peter Suneson is joining us from Walking Mountain Science Center. Peter, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
How you been?
I'm doing well, as always.
As always.
Pleasure to be here in the studio.
You're ready to talk. I love it whenever you come in, you're like, he wants to go. He gets all antsy. So between Avon and Edwards all winter long, I drive Highway 6 when I go home. On the golf course around Arrowhead, there's been a lot of elk just spending the entire winter there. What are they doing and why are they there?
So what they're doing is they're eating. That is where there's going to be less snow, and it's easier to find forage. So
Were they trapped kind of there during the winter time, or was it by choice, obviously?
It is by choice. You know, they're moving down out of the high mountains where the snow is going to be much deeper. They come down to the valley bottoms, little less snow, and that's one of the great kind of areas that we have set aside, open space, the Eagle River Preserve right down the river, huge meadows of open grass, open space. And so the elk are coming down to feed. It's where it's easiest for them. They're not spending energy trudging through that deep snow. So they're down in the valley bottom spending time with us, eating. And then, you know, this time of year, they're actually calving, which they've given birth and they're raising their young. And they're doing that in kind of the lowest aspen stands around the mountains. In the hillside, single tree, wild ridge, all of those aspen stands, there are going to be mother elk giving birth.
So what would you suggest? Obviously, people give them their space.
Absolutely.
More than anything.
Absolutely. And so that's one of the big kind of reasons for a lot of forest closures and trail closures that we have in this area. West Avon Preserve is a great example. The trails are hard. We've had great weather for mountain biking. Trails are hard. However, that area does not open until April 15th solely for this elk calving season.
Okay.
It's very important wildlife habitat. And if we scare them off, they're going to be spending energy that they could be using to raise their young, running from us, you know, looking to hide. So anything that we can do to give them their space and really abide by those trail closures and stay off where you're not supposed to be.
How about dogs? Obviously, dogs on a leash too. Very important when you're walking around, even in that preserve place below Eagle County Charter Academy, where they spend a lot of time. A lot of people walk there also, and that's not closed.
Exactly, and that's a great point. There are areas that elk are going to be that we share habitat with, that we can go where they are accessing. Dogs being on a leash is a great idea. You know, there's no rules or regulations necessarily.
It's just consideration, I think, more than anything.
Exactly. It's getting, educated about the elk, and they are down there because there's nowhere else for them to go this time of year. That's where the good food is at. And if you let your dogs loose to chase them, they're going to be spending precious energy that they could use to raise the next generation of elk.
So if they're in the process of raising their babies, are elk more aggressive at all at that time?
Absolutely, and that's another big thing to point out. If you ever see, a mother animal and young is something that we always want to be cautious of. Elk are big animal. That's a full-grown elk jawbone.
It's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that.
Kind of like that. It is big.
It's a
massive, powerful.
Big animal. You would not want to bother a mom, get in between a bull or a cow and a young.
Trying to get a selfie photo of the mom and the baby. Don't waste your time.
Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
Please don't do it. And obviously you may see some of these sheds on the ground in places, but...
So absolutely. So as of March 15th, the shed hunting season is open. So there were, that's another reason that it is pushed off to later in March, mid-March, is that we don't want people out there, foraging for the antlers, scaring those elk off. Now the season is open, so you are welcome to go out and collect sheds. However, same kind of ethic.
Common sense and ethic for sure.
Don't bother the animals.
I recommend give you guys a call or stop up if they have some more questions. Let's talk about some of the scat, because this is a good example of what elk scat looks like compared to rabbit, deer, and then moose. Exactly.
So all herbivores, all the animals you just talked about are herbivores. We know they're herbivores by these huge kind of grinder teeth, molars. And what we, kind of our rule of thumb for...
Don't do this at home, though.
For elk scat. So elk scat, the rule is if you can put it in your nostril, it's going to stick there. Deer scat, if you stick it up your nostril, it's going to fall right out. Moose scat, similar shape, but it's too big to even fit in your nostril. So if you're out on the trail and you see some of these pellets on the ground,
just look at them. Don't pick it up and put it in your nose.
Just look at them, and you can gauge the size of your nostril. Don't put it in your nose.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to take it to Megan next. She's got a look at the weather forecast for the day. It's going to be sunny. Is there snow in the forecast? Megan's going to let you know next.